Hello friends, it's an unscheduled Facebook Live with Celine. I am so happy to be here. It is the last day of Sale A Bration and I took my display boards apart yesterday and I had so many samples from this Sale A Bration that I thought that I should do just a run through of all of Sale A Bration one last time because it's the last day. Hey Bonnie. Yeah, the very last day that they can pick up like these cute stamp sets. Look at her, isn't she cute? She wasn't really on my radar in the beginning, and I'll tell you, I'm in love with all of these sets, and it's gonna be the last day. So the paper is going, the stamp sets are going. Hey Ginny. So glad to see everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just see if I can find the video, because that's always the trick, and I'm going to send it over to the Facebook group, and then I'm just going to roll through these samples. So some of them I've made, and then some of them are just swaps. So I want you to know that I didn't make these all, and I can definitely talk through the ones that I've made versus the ones that were swaps. So I'll let you know which one's which. All right, let's flip the camera and go. I'm so excited because this is just literally all projects. Oh, here, I need to not be in a loop so I hear myself. That would be bad. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera. Here we go. Ta-da. We're gonna put you on the clip and I'm gonna dive right in, and I'm gonna start actually with the catalog, because I figure if we start with looking at the catalog, that we can't kind of skip over anything. So this one, a friend of mine was saying, I'm not going to design with that one at all because I think it's silly and that nobody's going to love it. And you know what? It was probably one of my favorites. We on one of the Facebook Lives, we did the marker thumping technique. So we inked up with Bumblebee, and then I used a cinnamon cider marker to thump right on the stamp. And then I did the same thing with two different colors. Now I'm really shaded spruce and evening evergreen, and I thumped on the top. See how it's like darker in areas and lighter in areas? And then you do a huff, so you re-moisten the ink with your breath and you breathe on it like you're cleaning your eyeglasses, and you stamp. And then we went from there. Okay, and my video just froze on my feed, so hopefully I'm still going and everything's good. So then I painted it, of course, with Winkastella. Hello. And who would have thought to use this as a background? So that's just crushed curry stamped as a background. Really simple. This uses two of the Sale A Bration sets. So the pineapple and the leaves, and this guy comes out of one, and that's the same technique, just a different layout. Super cute. And this is that ribbon that has the slot that you could run a ribbon through if you wanted to. Here it is again. We created a sky just by using a Post-it note and some blending brushes. Really, really easy to make that one. This one was a swap. This one I did not make. I think this is Kelly Atchison, if I remember correctly. Super cute, super easy. I love it. And again, this one is just stamped in crumb cake and then sponged with pale papaya using the blending brushes. And that's another one of the same. So, and this time I didn't use the pineapple as a background, but I used that thumping technique. Look at all the detail in there when you use two different colors. So cool. So this whole suite that I am showing you of all of these cards feature this one that you can get with any $50 purchase that ends today. Plus, it also showcases one of the $100 ones. This one is Special Moments. So if you did both together, technically you could be a hostess too and have your own party. If you spend $150, you can get those two free stamp sets. Plus, you would get $15 in product for free when you place a $150. So those two together, they seem to go together really well, but you're going to see how that Special Moments just kind of goes with everything. But that Thanks and the Hello Sunshine, You Are Amazing, Good Luck, all of these came out of that other Sale A Bration set, which I think is pretty cool. I love this ribbon too. That's the Evening Evergreen Open Weave ribbon. So pretty. All right, I have a problem with ribbon, I think. Okay, so here we go. Flipping the paper. Oh, okay, so this is the Daffodil Delight 12 by 12 paper. So this is also free with any $50 order. And ta-da! All of these cards feature this paper in some way, and I'm pretty sure that it goes back to that Special Moments set that everybody really wanted. The Special Moments has like 21 different sentiments in it. So this one is featuring Daffodil. There's also a Daffodil bundle in the January through June catalog. So this is going to continue to coordinate with that bundle well past this catalog. But today's the last day you can get the paper. So here's a card to say you're amazing. And this one features also that Daffodil bundle. So that's the designer paper and that's the bundle. And this one is the paper. And there's that Special Moments from the back. The paper and the bundle from the catalog. I know who made this one. This one is a swap from Don Oshevsky. I was so impressed. It's such a simple layout, and the way she just turned the paper, I was so happy with it. And then thanks for brightening up my day. I love that they used these two shapes just behind each other and offset it like a drop shadow. Very, very cool. And again, that's that same sentiment set. This one's mine. I did this one for club, and I tied up with a little bit of gingham. Of course it's mine. It has ribbon on it. And then this is the medium daisy punch that I just curled with a bone folder and stuck two pieces together. And then this came out of the Give It a Whirl dies. They were just a little flower in the middle. And so pretty, so simple. This came out of a class that I did for the quarterly, actually. So for the catalog kickoff, there were 4 cards, and only 3 of them are here, but these were my cards from the quarterly. So those 3 are mine for sure. And they're so simple. And, you know, I like simple done well. You don't need to spend all day to make a card. You could take all day to figure out what you want to say on the card, but it shouldn't have to take you all day to make a card. For someone who's wonderful in each and every way, this was a swap that came in. And this is pretty cool. So this person did strips of designer paper. Oh, there's like a baby dimensional back in there. Whoops. Let's see if I can get it out. So they did 1/2-inch strips across a piece of white, like off-white paper. Okay, so I'm guessing that's off-white. Yeah, it is. Well, whatever that... It looks like vanilla, but I'm not sure. Well, anyway, it's a 1/2-inch strip, and then they sliced it, and then they flipped each section. So if you look, the hearts are going face up on this one, and they're face down on that, because all they had to do was flip it over. So that's a pretty cool technique. It looks like 1/2-inch strips there, both ways. Too cool. And then another Easter card, and you can tell these came right off my display board. Oh, look, this one was Susan Campfield. I love that. That Susan had a Post-it note on the back of hers. That's so awesome. So this will be great right through Easter, and it's just so simple. Okay, so that is that designer paper. Okay, catching butterflies. I don't have as many samples with this, but I was playing with the blending brushes a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember that. And I did the blending brushes and the masks, the decorative masks, and I laid it down on top of the linen paper. And before I did that, it's important to like layer it onto cardstock if you're gonna, because it's self-adhesive on the back, and if you try and do it afterwards, sometimes the edges get frayed a little bit, especially on a big piece like this. But then I just embossed the girl from the butterflies. Kind of dreamy, huh? And I embossed her on vellum because I wanted to see all of that brushwork. I thought it was pretty. I did this one with the new Mother of Pearl paper that comes in the January through June catalog. And there's a couple of techniques here. First, we also embossed on this with vellum, right? So she's on there with vellum. But underneath, we did polished stone. This was on a previous live video if you're on Facebook. And all I did was I soaked a bunch of cotton balls, added a couple of drops of Highland Heather and Balmy Blue ink, and then smushed it on the paper, and it dries almost instantly. Because this paper is shiny, glossy, it does take that polished stone technique really well. So you could look up the polished stone technique and do it with the mother of pearl. And that mother of pearl paper is dreamy, and it's even more fun when you emboss it with like just your regular run it through the cut and emboss machine. So those are two that I did, and then I embossed her on vellum. Okay, so this one was a swap. I didn't create this one. I want to say, it's escaping me, but it's somebody I admire. This was one of the one-to-one swaps that I do. Oh my gosh, it'll come to me when I get off the video, you know. And then I decided that with this one that I also wanted to make a card just featuring the butterflies in the set. So what I did was I stamped the butterflies a bunch of times to create a background. And these again are from the Give It a Whirl dies, one of my favorite dies in the thing. I've never made one of the window cards, the Give It a Whirl, why they created them, but I love all the little pieces because there's a scalloped circle and there's these little circle dies. So I made that one from that. And of course there's Winkestella on there. I don't know if you're catching that with the camera, but it's so fun. All right, so that one is my catching butterfly samples from my display boards. Again, like these three are mine and this one's a swap. Okay. One thing I love about swaps is we don't have to be brilliant. We can leave that to everybody else and we can copy. And some of the best ideas are copied over. So feel free to copy mine. You don't have to give me credit if you do. I'm okay with that. So this one is the driving by set. And I've seen this a whole bunch of different ways. But one of the first things I did with this set was I created a class using the Simply Marvelous paper. And I stamped on the Marvelous paper and then cut it out and used it to layer on. So if you look, this is paper pieced on the card. So underneath it's not colored at all. And it was designer paper from that Marvelous paper. So I did that for a 4-card class back in December. And look at this, the sparkle on that punch buggy. Punch buggy, just saying, had to. So I did the race car both with the balloons that come in the set, and then I masked with a Post-it note and stamped so that there were no balloons on this one. And then we used the balloon that came off of that one to make this card, which was pretty cool. And cutting into this, I just cut straight across and didn't cut the top off and then glued it back together. So you can barely even tell. I don't know if you can even see it. There's like a little slice here and here where I cut into the window just to cut the paint job out, but then just pieced it back down with liquid glue. Really, really easy to put together. So these 4 are mine from a class. And they use the same technique. And there's that Marvelous paper again. So that's the front that we stamped on it to get the car, and that's the back. So there's like a little bit of variation in the color. And that's the Marvelous paper on that too. So the front and the back, just like the other ones. Okay, and then I have these 2 that were swaps that I got. This one also features that rainbow paper that's free with a $50 order through today. So I'll show you that one in a minute. But this one, these samples were all the driving by stamp set. I've already been keying in orders for people today, and I helped 3 or 4 people key in their orders. So if when we get off this Facebook Live, you want me to help you with a key in an order, please try and hit me up before 7 o'clock, because tonight we have our weekly Zoom hangout, and I will be on hanging out with my buddies on Zoom from 7 until we drop. So this designer paper you can earn for free with a $50 order. See, and there's the $50 medallion. And here we go. These are really great samples, and there are so many of these. I used it in a class before Sale A Bration started in December because it was the first thing I collected was this rainbow paper. That's just a piece of paper. It's not even a ribbon. Isn't that cool? And that's, oh, what's the color? Mango. This one I did with my club. It is a pocket card, and we used the dies from the main catalog to make a pocket, and I used the decorative side. I made a couple of marks on my cutting pad when I was running it through so that I would get it straight when we, and my husband and my daughter helped me prep this because we did this with 36 people for club maybe last month or might have been the month before, but it also uses this rainbow paper. And this is a great sampling of that paper. It's got it's got 3 of the patterns here. I'm just logging back in so I can see your comments. Hey, Char. Hi, Heather. And here we go. This one was from a class that I did in December. Okay, and this is using the designer paper too, and the stamp set from the main catalog. So this bundle is absolutely fabulous, and it cuts out the designer paper. So this is the designer paper, and someone in here didn't cut out the die piece of it. They just cut around it, but it actually will, the dies will cut out that designer paper. So that's pretty cool. If you got the bundle and then you got that for free, they coordinate together perfectly. This was a swap card. My friend Cheryl made this, and it opens this way. It's a flap card. I love those. And that is using the other one, the one from the back there, the one with the $100, the one we've already seen a bunch of. In fact, a lot of these sentiments came from that stamp set. This is a bookmark card. So it opens from the 1.5 inch mark. Super cool. And I love that, again, wow. So that seems to be the winner, like across all of the sets, like all of the samples that I have, whether I made them or other people, everybody loved the special moments this time. And that one was free with 100. So this was, this I cut out that designer paper, and that was for a class in December. Isn't that cute? And I used liquid glue to glue it back on. Class in December. That same paper. And these are from the Give It a Whirl dies. Again, from that class. This is so cool. This piece is a scalloped circle, and the circle comes out of the middle. So you could have just a scalloped circle with an empty middle, but this looks like so much like the sun to me that I glued it all back together and put Wink of Stella all over it to make the sun. Really simple. The paper, the designer paper is 3x4. This layer is 4¼ by 3¼ So easy to recreate. Okay, so that was everything that I have with the sunshine and rainbows, although it does translate. So like this was one that we did with the otters, but it ended up in the otter pile. So let's go that way next. We'll flip the page. And we have Simply Marvelous and Awesome Otters. So the marble paper is fabulous. It comes in 6 different colors. This is the marble. And the front is a little bit more mute and the back is a little bit more vibrant, but both sides are marble. So I'll bring it back to those cards that I made. So that the papers just translate across all of the stamp sets. So cool. And all of these were stamped on the marble paper, cut out, and then pieced back into the stamp. So that was both sides of the marble paper. And then Awesome Otters. So I have a lot of marble in with the otters. And I got a bunch of samples for this. Okay, I'm going to do his last. This was from the catalog kickoff in December, and it's featuring that marble paper. This is gray granite and Pool Party. I love that ribbon. And this has the rainbow paper instead of the marble paper. But it's the Awesome Otters, also free with a 50. This one, we didn't use any designer paper, but we used blending brushes to create the background for the otter. And then we smushed on a piece of paper and picked up with Winkostella to make the darker splashes. A swap card. Is this not the coolest ever? This card is the reason that I had to go back and buy those dies. I didn't have them up until this week, but I have them now. They're fantastic, and I plan to use them with more water scenes that are coming out next month. Oh, there's a double. This was a swap, and I love the way they colored the otter, and this is the marvelous paper in the background. So sweet. That's the balmy blue one. So pretty. And again, I winked the heck out of this. Look at all the Winkostella on that. So this came out of the Hippo and Friends die. They have a balloon that I gave to the otter for his birthday. And here's another one. Simple, but pretty. This one's a swap. I love simple cards. This one, I actually cut the hat out and put it on its head instead of stamping it separate. Super cute. And we made a background with the Winkostella. All right, so those are the otters, except for this last one. This otter, I colored with the new blends that are for they're all skin tones. So I wanted to give you how I colored this. So for the nose, I used the darkest one, and that was number 100, okay? And then the darkest color is 100. So for the outside, I used 300 and 400, but I started with the darker one. So 300 is out here. And then I blended with the 400 to get that two-tone look. And then the inside, I started with the darker, so the 700, and then I blended out the 700 into the 800. And when I got to the middle, I did use the color lifter just a little bit to make his belly a little bit lighter, but that was all using the skin tone blends. And those are the colors that I use. So if you have any trouble with that, you can always come back and screenshot, pause and screenshot right there. All right, so that's all the otters. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're having trouble viewing the video. I will put this on Facebook, on YouTube after the video. So I'll download it and get it up on YouTube right away and email it out to those on my email list. Hello, friends. This is the only one that I have. I didn't touch this very much but this one came with a stamp set and a pack of paper, and it was free with a $100 purchase. I only had one sample for that because I was busy paying attention to this one, obviously. Special Moments we used across all of the samples I showed you today. We used a ton of it. And then when you place a $300 order, or if you have a party and get to a $300, you could get this Calming Camellia. And I did this on a Facebook Live towards the beginning of Sale A Bration, and I ended up using it for my club. This is just a calendar, and obviously today's the last day of February, so why not? We'll just rip into it. And all I did was I stamped Evening Evergreen on the other green. Oh my gosh, somebody can fill me in on what it is. And then I picked up with a blender pen white craft ink and colored the inside of the flower. It is magical when you're doing the technique. It's so pretty. I'll give you a close-up so you can see that. So for those of you having internet issues, I'm really sorry. We will get this up on YouTube, and I will share it over to the creative group. So I hope that we have a nice solid recording, but I wanted to give you a walkthrough of all the Sale A Bration things that are ending today, either You can order them through my online store, or you can pick them up from yourself if you're a demonstrator. I have lots of friends that are demonstrators that watch. And of course, here, let me flip the camera. And of course, if you want to sign up to be a demonstrator, that's a funny word, isn't it? What it means is if you want to sign up and get your own discount on all your purchases, you can do that, and just let me know if you have questions. It's $99. Soft succulent. Thank you, Robin. Robin should be a demonstrator. I can't remember, like, if I say, it's so funny. I sent Robin a message today. Hey, did I already send you this as a reward? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, good, because she placed an order with me last week, and I wanted to send her one. And I forgot if I had sent her one or not. That's how crazy I can be sometimes. But the starter kit's only $99. You pick out $125 of whatever you want. You can also pick out 2 free stamp sets. It can't be a Sale A Bration reward set. It cannot be a hostess set. But you can pick out any other stamp set that you want in the book for free, 2 of them.